London's thrice-elected Lord Mayor, Richard Whittington. Fact or legend? In the late 14th century, England was a land of contrasts. The shadows of the Black Death still lingered over the countryside, leaving many villages devastated and depopulated. It was a time of political upheaval and social change. While the feudal system still held sway in rural areas, in the cities a new class, the merchant class, was emerging. In an age when the idea of from rags to riches seemed almost impossible, it nonetheless inspired great tales of hope. One such tale belongs to a poor orphan named Richard Whittington, born around 1350 in a small village in Gloucestershire. Whittington's family had fallen on hard times. His father had been a member of the gentry, but had lost the family lands. When his mother died, Richard was left with nothing but his name in a dream. Known to the common folk as Dick the Boy, like many young people without prospects, left home for London, the great capital rumored to have streets paved with gold. For the poor, London promised opportunity, though it was also full of danger. Its streets were overcrowded, filthy, and infested with rats. Yet it offered something the village could never provide: hope. Upon arriving in London, Dick found no gold, only hardship. Hungry and homeless, he wandered the streets searching for work. It was then that fate intervened. A wealthy merchant named Hugh Fitzwarren took pity on him and gave him a position in his household as a kitchen boy. Though it was the lowest of jobs, it was a job and meant survival. Dick worked tirelessly, cleaning the kitchen and the house. Amid this struggle, Dick found comfort from an unexpected source: a small stray cat. Some accounts say he bought it with his last penny. Others claim the cat simply wandered into his life. Whatever the truth, the cat became his companion and protector, keeping the rats at bay and bringing a bit of warmth to his lonely existence. But this cat was more than a pet. It would become the key to Dick's future. Like many merchants of his day, Fitzwarren regularly sent ships to distant lands to trade. By custom, each member of his household could send something aboard, in hopes it would return bearing wealth. With nothing else to offer, Dick sent his cat, fearing it a foolish decision. Soon thereafter, disheartened by his life in London, and weary of his lowly station, Dick decided to leave the city. He walked out to Highgate Hill and paused to reflect on his life. As he gazed back toward London, the bells of Bow Church rang out across the land. In those quieter days, with far fewer buildings, the bells could be heard from miles around, including from Whittington's village up on its hill. Legend says that Dick heard them call, "Turn again, Whittington, thrice Lord Mayor of London." Was it the voice of destiny, a divine sign, or merely his imagination? In any case, Dick turned back and returned to London. Meanwhile, the ship carrying his cat had come home. The cat had worked a miracle in a distant kingdom. The king's palace had been overrun with rats and mice, and no local method could rid it of vermin. When the cat arrived, it swiftly dispatched the pests, earning the king's gratitude and a vast reward of gold. The merchant crew, recognizing the cat's value, brought it back to London, along with the treasure it had earned. Suddenly, Dick was no longer poor. That humble cat had made him rich. He received his share of the gold and invested it wisely, eventually becoming a successful merchant in his own right. Dick did not squander his fortune. Instead, he joined Fitzwarren in the trading business, became a respected member of the Merchant Guild, and ultimately married Fitzwarren's daughter, Alice. As his wealth grew, so did his influence in the city. Over time, Dick used his riches for the public good. He financed infrastructure projects, supported the founding of hospitals, and aided in the rebuilding of London. His generosity won the respect and affection of both the wealthy and the common people. In 1397, Dick Whittington was elected Lord Mayor of London, the highest civic office in the city. He served again in 1406 and 1419, thus fulfilling the prophecy he had heard in the bells of Bow Church. His story did not end there. He continued to serve London, improving public services, supporting education, and promoting the welfare of its citizens. In his will, he left a lasting legacy, endowing almshouses, libraries, and hospitals. One such institution, Whittington Hospital, stands as one of his greatest memorials. When Dick died in 1423, he left behind not only a fortune earned through hard work and kindness, but also a city forever enriched by his philanthropy. Whittington Hospital and St. Bartholomew's Hospital remain two living symbols of his legacy. His name endures not for his wealth, but for his contributions to the well-being of London and its people. And what of the cat? Did it truly exist, or was it simply part of a legend? We may never know for certain. By the late 1500s, as cheap chapbooks spread the tale, the cat's story grew ever more fantastical, becoming a talking, magical creature capable of miracles. Over the centuries, the cat became as famous as Whittington himself, immortalized in pantomimes, plays, and stories. The truth is that Richard Whittington's story blends fact and legend. His humble origins, rise to power, and charitable works are well documented. Ordinary events can become extraordinary in the telling. Today, if you visit Highgate Hill, you can still see a statue of Whittington's cat, a tribute to the creature that changed the course of history, and to the boy who, through perseverance and kindness, became one of London's greatest heroes. And if you stand near the bells of St. Mary-le-Bow, you might just hear them ring, reminding you of the boy who dared to dream, and who turned the tolling of a bell into a call to greatness. Thank you very much for watching my video until the end. Please don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel.